Greetings, divine mirrors, sacred, awakening, remembering gods and goddesses, one and all. Welcome to the second pilot episode of Voices of the Global Awakening, Tuesdays with TES, from 5 to 7 p.m. Pacific Time, and where we will be exploring whatever is the cutting edge of consciousness in the present moment with brilliant guests, including you. This week, in addition to whomever spontaneously shows up, I am delighted to have some very dear friends of mine who are extremely evolved, sensitive, attuned beings. A lovely couple named Kenneth Swinson and Kimberly Swinson of the Love Temple, and SDIC Inc., which is, so I get it right, the Sustainable Development Inspiring Community Incorporated, a loving eco-community building organization, 501c3. So they will be joining us at some point, and if you yourself wish to come on and share, our theme today is Time to Shine, although before and since I selected it, I'm questioning whether I actually want to pre-select a theme or whether I would rather simply be in the moment with what is alive and what is arising and what is wanting to be expressed through this vessel and your vessel, and to allow consciousness to use us and to unfold in the glorious now, the eternal present, and to keep opening up to it, dancing with the mystery, transcending our fears and self-consciousness around it, and to trust. One of the acronyms for TES is trust every second, that we are all beautiful vessels and instruments of the divine, that were carefully crafted, and that each of us is playing our roles perfectly, and we can become more and more and more comfortable at doing that, knowing that we were given voices to be heard, and we were given faces to be seen, and to allow ourselves to show up and not to hide. And our perspective matters. It is integral to the unfolding of this divine play that we find ourselves to be a part of. And so all of us can afford to show up and to be proud and to embody the divine God or goddess that we incarnated as in order to fulfill our role here in this amazing place. So I'm going to be sharing some songs with you throughout the course of our 2 hours together. And so this project, this weekly experiment that I am now engaging in, was the evolution and synthesis of a lot of different ideas that I have had. And one of them that has amused me is I wrote a rap, which I'll share with you, called How to Be a Diva. And in reality, what it is how to be a spiritual diva. And I say that not only as an embodiment of the divine feminine, but for anyone who identifies with the feminine principle, which it seems that in order for us to create balance in our world that has gone so far into the patriarchy and the masculine, that those who resonate with cultivating their feminine aspect are gifts to us, whether they are in a male body, a female body, a transgender body. Welcome, Kimberly. Welcome, Sasha. Nice to have you here. And if you, whenever you feel inspired to come on, at your end of things, you have a request to join option, and so feel free to do that. And as soon as there is a space for me to bring you on, I will do that. So before I do that, I want to share this rap that is an invitation to all of you to claim unapologetically and unashamedly the divine spiritual diva that is living inside of you. And it goes like this. To be a diva, become the diva, the star of your own life show. Define yourself, refine yourself, unmask the you know. To be a diva, unleash the diva that lives inside your skin. Appoint yourself, anoint yourself, you make the rules, you win. No one owns you, no one can, you're good with God, you're free. The power flows to the one who knows their own divinity. To be a diva, embrace the diva and claim your right to be. The way you are is the way you are. You're perfect naturally. The diva does, the diva feels, no more, no less. We live out proud, might shock the crowd with pure finesse. The diva says what the diva thinks, no bones about. The diva gets what the diva needs, or else look out. To be a diva, present the diva and let her show her face. For goddess rules, her power fuels time, energy, and space. Time, energy, and space. Time, energy, and space. Another acronym for TES, time, energy, space. So anyway, I'm here to play. I'm here to allow myself and you. I recently heard the term permissionary, and I relate to that as being one. And this project, Voices of the Global Awakening, is about reflecting and empowering you to trust yourself as a voice of global awakening, because you are here for a reason. And so I'm just here as part of the team to inspire you to light your candle so that you can light others and get past any shyness and any reservations and any who am I to, and just to start showing up. And that note, I see that Kimberly is ready to join, so I am going to do what I have to do at this end to bring you on, my dear. Accept. We wait with bated breath.
Hello.
And there you both are. Yay, Kimberly and David, Kenneth, Swinson.
Yes.
Welcome, your radiant souls. So good to see you.
So good to see you.
Thank
Good day,
you.
Good day.
What?
I said good day, good day.
Good day, good day. Good day, good day. So how are you? What's on your hearts? What's alive?
I think that this is just a time of big transitions. We've been going with the flow and radical acceptance, of what is, not having resistance to the divine flow. It reminds me of years ago when I was first coming into whatever you want to call it, awakening, or getting like more conscious. I woke up one day and the song "Row, Row, Row Your Boat" came into my mind, and that my soul just had this like inner knowing that whoever wrote that song really realized the nature of this reality.
Indeed. I actually once heard Jim Carrey express those lyrics on some late night show. I don't know if it was
Johnny Carson or David Letterman, and Jim Carrey is considered to be an awakened one, and so he was basically saying the same thing that you're saying right now. Life is but a dream. Yeah.
And to go with the flow of life, like if you're hanging on to ideas of how things should be or whatever it is, then you're going to be, grabbing onto the rocks and getting beat up.
Right.
You're like trying
Yes.
to swim to the shore and the rocks are banging you against the shore. Or if you just let go and release and just go with the flow, like the universe will catch you and have your back. I know, like that meme that you posted that was like, this man standing on the edge of a cliff and, God was going to flick him off, but then catch him too.
Right. Right. Well, so how would you suggest getting people to trust that? Because it's a practice, right? And it takes it takes a while to actually, like, coming from a place of what I call spiritual logic, start to even be willing to explore that option, that I can actually let go and let God. Like, I don't have to know. So, like, how would you suggest people go about?
The way that I like to say is not to have expectations, but acceptations. Just having acceptations, just accepting, just having radical acceptance for the path, for the divine, knowing that the divine has us. And we have to have radical acceptations that we are in the flow and that we are on the right path, and that all will be for us what is meant for us.
Amen. Indeed. Indeed. And it requires courage, it requires courage to be willing to stop micromanaging our experience. I mean, for me, it like just basically has come to a point of, like, there's a saying that man plans and God laughs. So it's like, as much as I have attempted to micromanage my experience, thinking like I've got such a great plan, it never goes that way. It never, ever goes that way. So it's kind of been like, ta-da, just like let go and be a witness, because that same intelligence that causes the sun to rise and set and causes the seasons to change and causes all the vegetation to come in and causes the tide to come in and out, it conceived us, it birthed us, it has us. So it is intelligent, and if we decide to trust it and believe that it's benevolent rather than it is out to get us, it's easier to go, okay, I'm just gonna wait and watch and see and feel,
Exactly. It's a really deep, you finally, you come to some inner knowing at some point when things, that when I look back, no matter what's happened in my life, I've always had a roof over my head and I've always had food to eat. And anything else, what conditions or other things that we put on things, like, really, nobody really owns anything. I mean, you have an illusion of ownership, right? Like, you can feel like, yeah, this is my house, this is my car. But really, in reality, anything can be taken from us in a split second. A fire, you name it. Anything can happen, as we saw in Hawaii, the fires, your life. You come into this world with nothing, and you will leave with nothing except your experiences. And so I think for those of us who are on more of that deeper spiritual journey right now, really being able to let go of those ideas of ownership will be very, very helpful.
Yeah, because I think that attachment is one of the deepest sources of suffering. right?
It's a
Yeah.
deep source to people, to things, all of that, to ideas that you have of how things should go.
Mm-hmm.
Attachment is the root of all suffering.
Yeah. 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 I remember once seeing Shirley MacLaine on 60 Minutes, and the interviewer said to her, "I understand that you have no possessions." And her response was, "It takes too much energy to protect them."
Yeah.
Mhm.
Right? Right? That which we own owns us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
David and I, we got down to like our suitcases in the last bit, but we're gonna be downsizing even more because the last couple trips were a bit silly. I know, whatever, but we transitioned to eating only raw foods. And so we were carrying around our dehydrator in our suitcase. And when I sat there and like after I like figured it out, I was like, you know what? We've just paid for 2 oversized bags, which was almost the same price as the dehydrator. We got to let this thing go the next time we go travel somewhere. So the dehydrator is not coming with us this next time.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, it's interesting because I was pretty much a minimalist before I took on taking care of my mother. And that journey left me with the contents of a 4 bedrooms house worth of family heirlooms that I was like programmed to like respect the sacredness of how hard won all these items were, that, you know, my parents came to the United States with nothing, and everything that they acquired was of such high quality and so precious because they came from a mentality of, had there not been a war, things get handed down generation to generation.
Right.
So if it wasn't for that break, then the things that I would have now would be potentially hundreds of years old, right? And so to go from my minimalist lifestyle to taking on my mother and then bringing all these things across the country, and now I gave up my home 2.5 years ago, and I still haven't found my new place. And I can feel the weight of all these things that are like waiting for me to find a sacred way to either move them into my next temple space or to release them. And so I've been in an inquiry with myself related to honoring release, like what is that, and what does it look like? Because just to like call the Goodwill and give it away like that, like just doesn't feel right. But at the same
No.
time, I can feel this weight that is on me, and like the reality check is I've gone 2.5, 3 years now without all this stuff, and it's not like I'm not able to live without it. I'm clearly able to live without it, you know. But and then it's like, okay, well, what is like honoring thy mother and thy father and their wishes, and what is honoring myself, you know, and what is my truth related to my life and my lifestyle. And so it's so weird, like how, like, because I'm willing to live in the eternal present as opposed to the marching time clock, it's like I'm willing to sit with the nuances of not knowing what the answer is yet, like what feels like forever, and like just like waiting for those signs and that clarity to come in, and just keep surrendering to the unknown, and like you're saying, letting go and letting God. And but it's fascinating because like the part of me that wants it all to just go away, you know, is in conflict with the part of me that really wants to be respectful to my parents' journey and what this all meant to them, you know. So it's interesting.
Yeah, I went through that too. With I had a 3 bedroom house and had all sorts of amazing things. Was lucky to get some of my grandmother's furniture, and everything meant so much to me, and I held on to a lot of it. And then it was the point of, once we moved into the RV, I had to get rid of a lot of things that were just too heavy to take. I couldn't take all that stuff with me, I gave away as much as I could and sold the rest, and it's been very releasing.
That's
And then
cool.
more and more and more just releasing. And even like today, I made a new pile of things to give away to lighten my load even more. I don't really need stuff. I don't really need all this stuff I thought I had. I'm getting down to one piece of luggage, and it's very freeing and it's very beautiful, and I really love it. It really feels good.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so lightening my load, you know, my goal was to just have all my stuff on my back at one point, you know, and I'm still not quite there, but I'm cool with that. Like, I really don't need all this. I don't really need all these things.
Yeah.
Right, and people don't realize, like I've put on a lot of weight on my body in the last few years, and I know it's not my diet. You know, my diet is like super clean and simple, and compared to the standard American diet, I eat very little, but I can feel that the weight is energetic weight. It's psychic weight. It is a reflection and a metaphor for all that I'm carrying that doesn't belong to me. So it's like I'm aware of it, and I would say that I doubt that most people understand the correlation between their possessions and their physicality. Like really, there's a connection between those things.
Yeah.
For sure. And if you want to feel lighter, then lightening your load is a really good idea.
Yeah, we can't take it with us. So
No,
and then,
we can't.
you know, I honored my grandmother enough. I don't need to keep her things. I've honored my great grandmother enough. I don't have to keep her things. I have had my grandpa's knives, and one of those I ended up in the wrong baggage at the airport, and the airport got it. But it kind of was, I was using it for my fruit, but the blade was kind of turning black, so I was probably poisoning myself with my grandpa's knife, because I'm trying to keep his knife, and it's turning black when I'm using it to cut, so it might have actually been poisoning me. So it's good that the airport got it in a way.
Oh,
know?
wow.
Like,
Wow.
I'm getting down to the things that I use and utilize. I'm ready to bury my grandmother's egg stone, because that's still weight that I don't really need to carry. My great grandmother's stone egg that I found in her cactus flower pot that was passed down to me, you know, and I found it in the dirt, buried in a flower pot, and I've been carrying it with me as I've given all the other things away, the pieces of furniture. But the memory of my grandmother will always be here with me. I do not need anything to remind myself of my grandmother anymore.
Right.
I will always
Thank you.
remember resting my head on my grandmother's lap and her petting my brow. There's no physical things in my life that can remind me of that besides Kim.
Aww.
She's right here with me. I got that unconditional love here with me now.
Yes.
And so the stone doesn't carry my grandmother. The stone doesn't have my grandmother in it. The stone doesn't have that unconditional love in it. It's just a piece of stone. And I put it in to hold down the sauerkraut while we were making it, and it kind of ate the stone a little bit. And so now it looks even funkier, and it's just time to give it back to the earth. And hey, I could probably come back here in 10 years and dig it up if I want.
Well, I love the idea of burying or burning and, like, you know, giving back to the earth and giving back to the elements and allowing the energy to be transmuted and dissipated. So you're giving me things to think about for sure.
We had a whole burning ceremony when we left Oregon at my daughter's house. We decided we were dropping, you know, because we were serving sacred medicine, ayahuasca and camel. We had our rattles and our feathers and all the things. He had a staff that he had carved himself with his eagle feathers.
I made my staff of spiritual authority from what my elders taught me, and I'd been gifted eagle feathers, and I made my happy hat, and I didn't want to inspire people to use animal medicine anymore. I didn't want to be that part to inspire people to use animal medicine, and I just decided just to throw it all in the fire and return it all of the earth, and it was a
Awesome.
big ceremony. But I'm lighter now, you know.
Yeah.
Those were cool medicines, and those were cool tools, and they helped me with cleaning people off, cleaning myself off, cleaning the house. But I don't really need any of that, really. I got it.
Mm-hmm.
It's all within myself. Every one of my tools that I had, and my elders even taught me that, you know, that this eagle feather is inside. This is you already. And I did get one tattooed on my arm, one of my eagle feathers. So still kind
Wow.
of have it.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Like I can use my hand. I don't need my red tail hawk wing anymore that was gifted to me from one of my other teachers. You know, I don't really need it anymore. I can still use this. I don't even need sage. I can just believe and know that all is whole, complete, and perfect all of the time. I don't need to change this perfect creation. It doesn't need to be changed. It is perfect
Amen.
creation. It's exactly how it's supposed to be. So I'm
Yeah.
more free to not need things that I thought I needed along my path to get me to where I'm at.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's like a pacifier or training wheels. It's like the things that as we're learning, we have these things and then we outgrow them and we don't need them anymore.
Yeah.
So it's good. It's good to hear that. So I want to allow some other people to come on that are waiting, but I will also want, before I release you, for you to share some of your work. What y'all are doing in the world that is so wonderful and inspiring.
Great stuff. Well, we do a lot of things. David and I, we're looking for our next place again. Well, like a conscious community, I feel is like where we would thrive, you know? I mean, David, he was a master and electrician for over 20 years, just can build anything, permaculture, all of the things, you know. We both are into the raw food lifestyle. I teach raw food preparation classes, the fasting, detoxing the body temple, and then transitioning to, you know, whole life raw foods. We do that. We have a course online starting with mindfulness, just being present and learning to love ourselves more, and then going through, you know, because those are the foundations. Once you can learn to be mindful and present with what is, then, you know, get that next level of like, okay, I'm ready to love myself more and more deeply. And then
we have the lessons of love on the website, and then we have a fasting course, and we have our yoga, Earth Hug Yoga books available and things like that on the website. Kimberly's a children's author, so she has some children's books that she's written, and those will be available soon on the website. All of our programs and courses are on the website. We also have an app, a Love Temple app to get people connected, and we're building our community that way where we could converse in good ways and share the love and the light. And our website is THESDICINC, The Stick Inc. THESDICINC.com.
I think I didn't put the I think I didn't put the in when I posted it. So pop it in the comments when you jump off of the you know, when you get back to pop your links in the comments for people. You're both so radiant and your life force just like, you know, just comes so out, and it's beautiful to look at you and feel your clarity and purity. It's just delicious. So I'm grateful.
Likewise. Oh, love you so much.
Love you too. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having us.
We'll see you soon.
Yeah, we'll see you soon again, of course. Okay, blessings.
Love.
Love.
Leave broadcast.
Okay, that was fun. That was so much fun. I was going to do while I was still on with them, but they reminded me of this little ditty that I came up with that goes, I trust the ease and flow. I trust the ease and flow. I release the need to know. I trust the ease and flow. Sing it with me. I trust the ease and flow. I trust the ease and flow. I release the need to know. I trust the ease and flow. Yay. Okay, let's see who has joined us in the meantime. Greg Soulman May, how cool is that? Welcome. Ana Luisa Doria I don't know how to say your last name. I might have to have you on here just to tell me how to pronounce your last name. Cheryl Pinagar Yarbrough. Listen to these names, these exalted, exotic names. Welcome. It's good to have you on here. And I got you singing, yay, yay. So I am here and I am holding space, and the space I am holding is seeing you, seeing all of us as our most divinely actualized versions of ourselves, and evoking that and calling that forth and holding you as an embodiment of the divine, whether you yet realize it or not. That is where I'm standing. It's my story and I'm sticking to it. So we're going to be here. We're a half hour in. We've got another 90 minutes to go. So if any of you would like to come on and chat with me, I would love to have you. Because as I said at the start of the broadcast, if you weren't here, your voice, your visage, you are divinely created. Every aspect of you was crafted with so much love and intention and precision. And your perspective is meaningful and it matters. And we want to hear it. Consciousness wants to receive your voice and your take on things. So I'm here not as the guru, not as the leader, but the space holder. And it is my honor to welcome you and to converse with you and to share wisdom because we all have a piece of the puzzle. All of our experiences are so unique, and the lessons that we learn, and we can save each other. Potentially, we can save each other so much time and so much heartache by our willingness to, bring forth that which we went through. Welcome, Bracha. Good to see you here. So don't be shy. Don't be shy. Even if you've never been on camera before, I am gentle and loving and welcoming, and this is a receptive, unconditional space. So please bring yourself. I am sparkling tonight. Well, I have got such a great background. You know, the one that I had last week with the lion, which was so cool, was specific to the Lion's Gate. But it was like, okay, what can I use on a regular basis that I can take with me wherever I happen to be doing this live stream from? And this magnificent, I don't even know what to call it. It's a mural or a fabric or whatever that was gifted to me by a lovely sister some time ago, and I'm honored to be using it for this purpose. So if you were not here last week, I will share with you that this is a little pilot project of mine. I don't ultimately know which platform or platforms will be most supportive of this flourishing and growing and being user-friendly. But I'm starting here because I have the biggest following here, and I'm making it public so that law of attraction can bring whomever is energetically drawn to the consciousness that is coming through this vessel and bring their magic to it. And so basically my vision is for a weekly music, talk, and variety show that is celebrating the miracle of our being, because I think that most of us have been programmed, and I think that this is intentional as part of the game, not necessarily malicious or nefarious. I mean, I always remember, if you read the book Conversations with God by Neil Donald Walsh, you could put a 1 or a yes or something in the comments. And in that book, he told a story that was so popular that he released it again as an illustrated children's book, just excerpted that story out. And the story was about this little beam of light that wanted to know itself as the light. And it went to God and said, God, I want to know myself as the light. And God said, well, my child, you are the light. There's nothing else for you to know. And the little beam said, no, but I really want to feel it. I want to experience it. I mean, I'm surrounded by so much light. How do I feel that my edges? How do I feel the fullness of my radiance and my magnificence? And God said, my child, in order for you to know yourself as the light, I'm going to have to put you out into the darkness. And it is going to be scary out there, and it is going to be cold, and it is going to be harsh, and it is going to be unpleasant, and you may not like it very much. And the little beam of light said, it doesn't matter. I want to know myself as the light. Please, I must know myself as the light. And God said, okay, my child, I am going to arrange this experience for you. And the other beams of light came along and said, we love you so much that we are willing to play the darkness in your life experience so that you can come to know yourself as the light. But the only thing we're going to ask of you is this. We're going to play our parts so committedly. We are going to immerse ourselves into our roles so wholeheartedly that we are going to forget that we are also the light. So what we're asking of you is that when you come to realize yourself as the light, please help us to remember that underneath this dark cloak and these roles, these nefarious roles that we have taken on for you to get to feel like the light and the hero and you know, the anointed one, that you help us remember that we are all that too. And it's really important, I think, for us to know this because, and I talked about this last week using the analogy of being an actor that gets so caught up in their role that they forget who they really are. And some become like so completely tormented that they even lose their minds. Yeah, thank you, Brach. I love this story too. And so it's like, if we think about our characters that we have been portraying since we incarnated in this dimension, I would guess that most of us that are gravitated towards this broadcast identify as one of the good guys, you know, and we suffer a lot of distress and dismay at how much darkness there appears to be on this planet and how misguided so many of our brothers and sisters seem to be. And it's overwhelming as to like, how do we wake them up? Like, how do we stop all this insanity and this abuse and horror and violence? And ultimately, it feels like the way to do it is to shine our light, shine our light and be that light in the darkness. And in fact, my heritage of Judaism says, Lech lecha, go forth into the world and be a light unto the world, to shine your light, to dispel the darkness. That actually reminds me of a song that I wrote as part of a project called 6 Million Candles Concert at Auschwitz, which I conceived after having been told that I was born to make up for everything that my parents went through in their life. And Do I have it? Do I have it with me? Did I bring it? I don't know if I have it, but I think I remember it. So anyway, it goes like this. Dispeller of the darkness, bringer of the light, I pray to you to show me how to make things right. You gave me an assignment I know not how to fulfill. I follow your voice blindly. Why do you whisper still? Awaiting your instructions, life seems harsh and bleak. I watch my world collapsing and turn the other cheek. Helplessly I call you, something, something, my fate. Forgive me if I tremble. It's been a long, long wait. If peace is the plan, come on and lend me a hand. Don't make me stand here alone like a fool. I've proven my stuff, Lord knows I've taken enough. It's time to send in the troops and the tools. Every door I turn to slams upon my face. Your people are too busy to save the human race. You gave me an assignment, I know not how to fulfill. I follow your voice blindly. Why do you whisper still? So we come forth. Thank you. We come forth in this physical form, incarnated, embodied, with a set of circumstances that we are born into, and an unfolding that we participate in and are witness to. And we are told to find our way. We are told to find our way, to be the light. The Bible says, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil. My rod and my staff comfort me. And so it seems that our work is to figure out, because the spiritual reality check is recognizing, even if it's in the subconscious, that we are all walking, talking, living, breathing miracles. And that everything in this dimension is miraculous. So it's like there's not a single thing that you can take and put under a microscope and not get down to the quarks and the particles and discover that ultimately it is infinite space, that everything in creation, in the material plane that we can touch and taste and smell and see is actually 99.9999999% empty space. Quantum physics has proven this to us. So the thing is that no matter how much science is able to prove to us, or for us, ultimately it comes to a point of unexplainable, mysterious, miraculous. So if we're caught up in mundane reality thinking, and everything is hard, and everything is dense, and everything is stressful, and everything is suffering, there seems to be a disconnect between the spiritual or the mystical reality and the mundane 3D reality we have been programmed to believe is all there is. So things happen that appear out of our control, and they can be very disturbing, and they can be very distressing, and we can feel rather helpless and potentially vulnerable, unsafe, scared. How do we continue to live? How do we continue to function in this dimension when so much about it seems to be severely misguided? The thing is, as we evolve spiritually and we come to thoughts that suggest that there is a divine plan that is unfolding, and that the benevolent creator that breathes life into us and that animates and sustains us, there's a method to this apparent madness. And if it's as simple as that Neil Donald Walsh story, that we wanted to experience the contrast in this dimension, and so there had to be evil, which is from a word alchemy perspective, is the antithesis, the exact opposite to live or live. Then we're in this sort of upside down world, and the way out is through connecting to what I would consider to be the deeper truth of the miraculousness of our divine selves and all that is, regardless of the soap opera or horror film that's playing out in front of us. And if we can walk through the valley of the shadow of death and fear no evil, then it feels to me that that's how we get to win the game. Take a deep breath. Take another. And one more. Be still and know that you are God. If you say those words from the Bible, be still and know that I am God. It's easy to start to see that there is only one I am. Only one I am masquerading as multitudes. And if you can be with that, which may require closing your eyes, sitting still, and going within, you can connect to that vast sacred space within you, where there is only one I am. And if you can know that you are one with that one I am, you can find peace within all the apparent chaos in all circumstances. And you can be the eye in the center of the storm. And you can be a source of peace and comfort and stillness and a kindling of faith in those around you. You are most welcome, Bracha and Anna. Would someone like to come on here and chat with me? I love doing this, and it's just more fun when I have another reflection to look at besides my own. We are so blessed to be incarnated. We are so blessed, and we take it for granted. You want to come on? Okay, come on. Let's do it. Now I get to learn how to say your last name. There you are.
Hello. Hold on.
Welcome.
Let me set myself up here. I gotta put my phone here because I'm painting.
Good. Good. Are you gonna let us see what you're working on?
Hold it. You want to see?
Of course.
It's a new painting. You can't tell what it is. It's a turtle in the water.
Oh, I would not have known that.
I know. I just started it. There's some work. Some of my work behind me.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
How are you, TES? Hey.
I'm
nice
good. How are you? Tell me how to pronounce your last name.
Doria Meunier.
Meunier.
Meunier. Yeah.
Meunier.
It's a French name.
Does it have a meaning that you know?
Yes, it does. It's a form of moulin, which means miller. It means miller.
Well, that's so funny because like Monnier, I heard money in, and then you said moolah, which is another way to say money.
Yes, money. I want some money. Yeah,
that's hilarious.
It's a French-Belgian name. In fact, it's a common French name, but the family actually comes from whatchamacallit, noble origins. So it was a family that fled the French Revolution so they wouldn't be killed, and they moved to Belgium and changed their name to Meunier to seem like they're common people.
Oh, interesting.
And Doria is Italian. So that's where my family, my father's family comes from, Italy and Belgium, yeah.
So it's Italy, Belgium, France, and Portugal. Is that?
Irish in there too.
Yeah.
And so I did the 23andMe, so I know everything about my DNA composition. I also have a little tiny percentage of North African Berber.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, you got a lot of traveling to do to visit all your roots.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
This is so cool, Tess. This is really cool. So Stu actually told me about this thing that you're doing. And I was just curious, and so I'm glad I got to tune in today. Really
Thank you. Tell me what's cool about it so I get some feedback, because I'm here inside this consciousness and I have ideas, but I don't know how they land necessarily.
From what I observed today, you are combining interviewing people with your wisdom and your music. What else? What else would you want? Right?
That sounds good. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And ultimately, my intention is to have other musicians on that are bringing messages of evolution and consciousness to the planet. And as I told this story last week, as the genesis of the name of this Voices of the Global Awakening, I had been invited some years ago to sing an original peace song I wrote called Peace in the Middle East for 6,000 Israeli and Palestinian women in Jerusalem by a UN NGO called the Women's Federation for World Peace International. And I was given, it was a cool manifestation story because I went to an event for International Day of Peace at the Buddhist Friendship Center in Los Angeles, and there was the regional president of the UN NGOs, and she was talking about this women's initiative for peace in the Middle East that was going to be happening in Jerusalem on my birthday. And I went up to her and I said, I think I need to be at this event. It's my birthday, right? And I was working on this global peace project, the 6 Million Candles concert at Auschwitz vision that I had. And I gave her this whole packet and she said, well, I'm about to get on a plane to Geneva, but I'll get back in touch with you. And so then I took my journal, and for the first time in my life, I started like reverse engineering journaling. I was writing journal entries from having already done the event singing in Israel and what it was like and how honored I was and how excited I was and everything. And I was journaling like that. And then the travel, I think, was leaving like on a Friday, and on Sunday night, the Western Region president called me and said, we would like to take you on this trip. We're at 600 women from 130 nations. We have one scholarship. We would like to offer a sponsorship. We'd like to offer it to you. The only thing is that we can't guarantee you that we're going to get to sing. You're going to get to sing. That we asked the Israeli government for 4 hours, but for security reasons, they're only giving us 3 hours at the Independence Park outside the King David Hotel in Jerusalem. And, you know, and of course I'm speaking to a 3D oriented human being. And so I'm, you know, thanking her for the invitation, explaining that I completely understand what she is sharing with me. So I'm not going to have my heart set on getting to sing. But inside, the way that it was working in me is that it's a women's initiative for peace in the Middle East. My song is called Peace in the Middle East. The event is happening on my birthday. There is no way that God is schlepping me to Israel for me to be a bench warmer. I definitely am going to get to sing my song. So anyway, why was I telling you this story? I lost my train of thought.
Talking about
where was it?
you know, what you're doing, and you're combining creative work with mindfulness and spirituality and connection with others, with other artists, with other conscious creators. So that's what you're doing, and it's pretty awesome.
Thank you. So yeah, so I remembered what I was going to say. I was explaining how I came to this name, Voices of the Global Awakening. And so I had 3 days to get my airline ticket, a rush passport, and make copies of the one track CD, Peace in the Middle East. And I wanted to make like a calling card to go with it. So we were in Los Angeles. It was Stu and myself and a friend of ours, Matthew John, that we were traveling with at the time. And we were sitting outside of a Hollywood print shop that had a expedited, you know, extra money print process that I could deliver by 4 o'clock, and I would have it back the next day in time to get on the plane the next day. And so we're sitting there going, okay, well, what should I, like, who am I? Like, what should I say about myself? And we're racing the clock to come up with a name. And finally, somebody said, the voice of global awakening. And I was like intimidated. And I'm like, well, I'm not the only one. It shouldn't be the voice. It should be a voice of global awakening. And my friend Matthew John sort of threw down the gauntlet and said to me, no, this is an opportunity for you to step into your I am power and claim yourself as the voice of global awakening. And so I did, and I created these postcards that had my picture and said TES, the voice of global awakening. And then eventually when I moved to San Diego and I got involved with Kennedy Carr, who was a conscious event producer, he used that name to produce an event called Voices of the Global Awakening at this amazing place in Balboa Park, which is like our Central Park, called the World Beat Center. And I was the MC for that event. My ego was a little confronted by him taking it. But now it seems like Voices of the Global Awakening is a beautiful thing for me to get to host and hold the space for, and magnetize people who are of this consciousness, who are here for transformation and empowerment. And so, yeah, that's the story.
Cool. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Good for you, Des. Very nice.
Thank you.
I think there are many, many voices now of global consciousness in different ways, there's plenty of people coming out of their victim mode and owning their lives and owning themselves as co-creators of this reality, right?
Yes.
So yeah, so it's a very appropriate name. It's
Thank
perfect.
you. Thank you. And
Because
it's
it can be, to say the voice can mean, an individual, each individual, and it can also mean the collective voice of global awakening, because it's getting bigger and bigger, right?
Yes. Yes. And unlike, it's like I remember when, growing up Jewish, and all the sort of ambivalence and mixed feelings around Jesus, and him having been Jewish, and then so many people persecuting Jews in his name and all this kind of stuff. But there was always a fascination in me for his teachings, and people making a distinction between the man and Christ consciousness. And so this time of global awakening seems to be about, and he even said himself, that which I can do, you can do greater. And have I not told you, ye are all gods? And so he was not standing there putting himself above anyone. That was basically done posthumously to elevate him to that status of being above the rest of us. And it was, to me, it was more about the extent to which he went to purify himself, and his willingness to learn the truth of who he is, and what his relationship is with the divine. And so it has been said that unlike in those biblical times, we are in a time where multitudes are embodying that Christ consciousness, so that there is no a potential crucifixion, and the consciousness is no longer on the planet. It's like, I have a lyric in one of my songs that is, for each life that you erase, two shall rise to take their place. You cannot kill the will to carry on, for the soul will never cease in its goal of reaching peace, even though so many teachers may be gone, right? So it's like, we are the Messiah generation. We are embodying that level of consciousness where we are owning our humanity, and we're also awakening to our divinity. And to me, it's like, despite, like they say that everything unlike love is being driven up and brought to the light. And so even though there is so much shocking horror and devastation taking place on the planet at this time, if we're standing in the place of knowing ourselves as the light, we can hang with it, we can hold it, and we can like keep shining in the face of it and not allow that darkness to consume us. And I think that's our work, you know, that's what we're doing.
And as we lead, others follow.
Yeah, yeah. And then till they have their own aha. And then they get to like use themselves as an instrument, you know, unapologetically and unashamedly to go, okay, this is the character that I was given to portray, and I'm going to portray it to the hilt because I need to let that light shine through all my pores. And as we called this particular segment, time to shine. That's what it is. That's where we're at. It's go time.
I miss you, girl.
Yeah. When I heard you,
I visit you.
Well, I still don't have a home of my own. I'm still a guest in the home of a dear friend, which I'm very grateful for. But I heard you mention something about Santa Barbara the other day, and I was like, we can meet in Santa Barbara. That would be super cool. I'd be open to that.
Yeah, why not?
Okay, let's figure it out.
Airbnb or something.
Yeah. Let's figure it out.
It was lovely to have Stu here and visiting. I couldn't house him because, you know, I have one room. That's it.
Right.
I live in one room. But we hung out and we had some really wonderful conversations, and it was very good. It's always, I love it when people just come and say hello. Just hang out with me. Yeah.
Well, you sure laughed a lot.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
Yay.
It was good.
It's so good to see you. Thanks for spending some time with me. I love you.
I love you. Keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you, sister. You too, and your art. You're so prolific. Thank you, honey. Take care. Bye-bye. Okay. Who do we still have here with us? I feel like I need to shake a little just to like shift from one thing to the other. My feeling is that beyond the words, there is sharing presence. The simplicity and the purity of simply being together in sacred witness of the miracle that each of us actually are. What's coming to mind is a song that I didn't write. I first heard it at a evolutionary event called the Whole Being Weekend that used to happen here in San Diego annually for a good 2 decades or more. And It goes like this. How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. I cannot find any buttons to connect with you. Well, let's see if I could do it at this end. Oh, let's see. Huh. Well, you're not showing up in my end either. Are we friends on Facebook? I mean, I know that I see you, but are we actually friends? Let's see if I click here. Hang on. Oh, here we go. Cheryl. No. I'm sorry, Cheryl. It doesn't. You saying we are? Well, I don't know what you're not showing up. It's kind of interesting. We can look into that and see if we can correct it for the next time. My laptop is not nearby, or I could try on a different device, but I'm afraid to play around too much for fear of disconnecting the live stream. But let's fix it, because I would love to have you on and chat with you. If you have anything on your mind that you would like to say, perhaps you can type it into the chat and I can respond to you that way. I'm sorry that I can't fix it right now. I get messages from you all the time. Yeah, I don't know. As I say, I tried it at my end too, and even tried typing your name in, and it isn't showing up. So I don't know. I don't know. That's beyond my above my pay grade to figure out right now. But anyway, the point is that I'm here to reflect your divinity. I'm here to reflect your sacredness. I'm here to reflect your preciousness. I'm here to reflect your worthiness. I'm here to reflect your importance and your significance in this great unfolding of this divine play that we are all characters in. If you were not meant to be here, you would not be here. This is what I call spiritual logic. It's not woo-woo, it has to appeal to my sense of logic for me to be willing to stand in these convictions. This is a sacred, mystical, magical realm. And each and every one of us is so unique that it behooves us to accept and value and cherish the sacredness and the importance that we each are. And when you come to a place of truly approving of yourself and accepting yourself, you don't need it from anyone anymore. And the irony is that you then get it. I am not going to lie to you. I am not completely past my own fear thoughts, my own frustrations, my own envy, I would say, of my perception of other people's lives and other people's careers and other people's loves and stuff. And that is me in a compromised, vulnerable mindset. But the me that is connected to the miraculousness of my own being, that part is real. It's not a put on, it's not a show. And what I find, and I do believe that we teach what we need to learn, is that when I put myself in a position of showing up with an intention of evoking this awareness, this aha in my mirrors, that it's serving a double purpose. I'm certainly doing it for you, but I'm also doing it for myself. I'm doing it for my own awakening, and I'm doing it to create a support system around me of people who know and people who remember, because as I once heard it said, evolution is a team sport. We are in this together, and nobody gets left behind. Nobody gets left behind, because you are another myself. Each and every one of you is another myself. And the divine in me recognizes and acknowledges the divine in you. And the more of us know, and the more of us are aware, the less we can be manipulated, and the less we can be afraid, and the less or need to be afraid, and the stronger and more peaceful we can become. Because if we know that we are divine and that we are sacred and that we are miraculous, then we can also know that there is an overarching benevolent intelligence that created us and wants us here. And as long as we are in gratitude and a reverent appreciation, not taking ourselves and this life for granted. Audio is gone. Audio is gone. Is that better? Is that better, Cheryl? Can anybody else hear me? Is this exclusive to Cheryl phenomenon? If you can hear me, would you please comment? Thank you, Bracha. Okay, so Bracha says it's fine, and Cheryl, sounds like something at your end. I wonder if you, Reverend Appreciation, yes. Cheryl, I wonder if you power off your phone and power it back on. Maybe suddenly your button will work and you will be able to come in and talk to me, and maybe that's related to whatever is going on with your audio. But of course, if your audio issue is still going on, then you are not hearing what I'm saying right now. So maybe if someone else would be so kind as to type this message in for Cheryl, in case she's not hearing me, and suggest that she power off and power her phone back on, and that might clear up both issues. I would appreciate that. Yes, reverent appreciation for the miraculousness and the sacredness of our very existence and the existence of all that we get to engage with in this dimension. Let's see if I have another song for you right now. What was on my list? By Philosophy. That's a fun one. Anyone will tell you that you gotta choose. Pick the right profession. If you snooze, you lose. But I refuse to tie me down. I'm having too much fun. There's such a lot to see and do. I've barely begun. Every day is different, every moment new. Who's to say which road is the right one for you? Desire is a changing thing, the world a grand buffet. And I intend to taste a lot. So listen when I say I'm a joy-seeking being, just inventing my life. I owe nothing to no one, and I don't need no strife. Call me lover or teacher, call me artist or wife. Won't confine me with labels, I'm just playing my fife. Yesterday is history, tomorrow is a dream. Come smell the jasmine, come taste the cream. The present is the gift, my friend, don't rush it all away. Since now's the only time that's real, I'm living for today. I'm a joy-seeking being, just inventing my life. I owe nothing to no one, and I don't need no strife. Call me lover or teacher, call me artist or wife. Won't confine me with labels, I'm just playing my fife. Anyway, I'm so grateful for all the ways I have opened myself up to spirit, to allow myself to be used as an instrument to deliver messages of consciousness that open hearts and expand the way people think about things in joyful, profound, serious, playful, different ways. Kimberly, Cheryl, you might try to power your phone off and then back on to see if that does the trick. Thank you, Kimberly, for posting that very much. Here's another one. Here's another one. Everything is great, everything is flowing. You are God, dear, thanks for knowing. All is well on earth as it is in heaven. Everything is fine, miracles are growing. Bless the seeds that you've been sowing. All is well on earth as it is in heaven. Life is a dream come true, it's up to you to see. You are the master of your perfect destiny. Love is the formula that opens every door. Be who you want to be, it's what you came here for. Everything is fine, all the world is glowing. Time to rise, the rooster's crowing. All is well on earth as it is in heaven. All is well on earth as it is in heaven. All is well on earth as it is in heaven. This is the thing, this is the opportunity for us to be here in this dimension, so grateful and understanding of how blessed and privileged we are to get to exist. And to hold that awareness in the face of all the difficulties, all the struggles, both personal and global, so that we can be a source of peace and comfort and faith and healing to those around us, to empower them in order for us to grow, so the light grows and the light dispels the darkness and we live happily ever after. And we don't necessarily have to leave these bodies and these incarnations unless we want to. And we get to choose how to be in this dimension with grace and flow as opposed to struggle. Does that sound good? Does that sound like something you want? Would you like to join me in that? Would you like to help grow and empower this project so that, okay, sweetheart, Anna, thank you for being here. I'll see you again. By inviting others to come and join us on Tuesdays and let this community grow and let people with the skill sets beyond my own to help with the technology and the marketing and the production and the promotion and you know it's like when two or more are gathered, like let us feed this seedling with our energy so that it can become something that is global and that we have people tuning in from all over the world and they're sharing the consciousness and spreading this awareness. And I love to hear the feedback. You know, I would love to hear how this project, this program, this broadcast may be affecting and empowering you and thereby supporting you in empowering others. That would be delicious and delightful for me. Yay, 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 yay. I would like to talk about the courage of showing up. I was doing so for about 2 months at the start of COVID, I was doing a daily broadcast that I'm just resurrecting. If you go to my page, you'll see that I posted 2 little videos, one that I did yesterday and one that I did earlier today. And it is called Songs That Shaped My Soul, a daily dose of musical medicine. And these are cover songs. They're not originals, but they are, there's an app called Smule, S-M-U-L-E. I'm not sure if you pronounce it Smule or Smool. There's just hundreds of thousands of, if not millions of karaoke tracks in their library, along with video capability for you to shoot a little music video of yourself singing a song that you love. And so at the start of COVID, I felt like I needed it and other people needed some burst of positivism. And, you know, there's something about music as a carrier wave to deliver messages and that bypass the intellect in order to open hearts and shift consciousness that can do, people can receive oftentimes in a more open way than they can with the spoken word. And so songs whose messages have spoken to me and moved me and nourished me and healed me my whole life, I am having an opportunity to sing and post, and that feels really good. And yesterday I sang I Believe that Elvis recorded, I believe for every drop of rain that falls, a flower grows, that one. And today I was inspired to share Corner of the Sky from the Broadway musical Pippin. And as I was saying on that little video, I first became aware of that song in my musical theater class in college. And then I started to sing it. And I've only ever seen excerpts of that show until I think it was this past Thursday night. I went with 3 friends to see a local production of it. And the message in it was so much more profound than I had any idea. I really just thought it was this light, cute musical, and it turns out to have some deep philosophy as it relates to this burning yearning inside of us to live an extraordinary life, and how when we go like chasing carrots, that we find that the grass is not necessarily greener anywhere else. And it's really about, coming back to my message from earlier, it's really about appreciating the uniqueness and the sacredness of our own journey, not wanting to be like anyone else or trying to be like anyone else, but really celebrating being ourselves. And I think I talked about this last week, that Thich Nhat Hanh, the Vietnamese spiritual teacher, the form of meditation that he taught is called mindfulness. And that mindfulness is about putting reverent attention on whatever you're doing, whether it is doing the dishes or the laundry or making a video or driving the car or having a conversation with somebody, whether it's difficult or easy, but that there's a certain portion of your awareness that is in reverent appreciation, awe and wonder of the miracle and the sacredness of the fact that you exist and get to do this thing, whatever it is. And that is how we shift from mundane to mystical thinking, from mundane to mystical reality. Is the world is a mirror, and how we, like, when I get alone, which I have been cultivating, spending a lot of time alone for some years, a few years now. And that doesn't mean that I'm antisocial. It just means that my healing journey is to be able to hear myself think. And in my ability to hear myself think, I get to hear what is exalted and sublime in my thinking, and what is wounded in my thinking. And as I identify the wounded thinking, I get to work with that and question whether those thoughts are actually serving me. And if they no longer are, what does it serve me to believe? Like, which thought is better? And actually replace and continue to upgrade and up-level the quality of my thoughts, because thoughts are things and they create the experiences that we have. And if we have core wounds where there is negative self-talk in our subconscious or our unconscious, those thoughts are running our experience. And so when they say that we create our own reality, it really is an outpicturing and a projection of the thoughts that we're thinking. And if we want to have a divine, grace-filled experience, then we need to take responsibility, get hold of the monkey mind, learn to train it and tame it, so that we are mindful about the quality of the thoughts that we're thinking, so that we can create the experience, the grace-filled experience that we prefer to have. And it really is about seeing ourselves as the common denominator in all of our experiences. So if you find that you have recurring experiences that are displeasing, they're unpleasant or disappointing or frustrating or heartbreaking, and it's like, oh my God, here it is again, here it is again. Why is this happening to me again? It behooves you to like stop the clock, like take a time out to get alone so that you can hear your own thoughts and ask yourself some really deep questions. And you can do this in silence, inside your own mind. You can do it in writing. You can do it, which I do a lot, is sitting on the floor in front of the mirror. And I suggest sitting on the floor or on a chair so that you're not standing, because once you get into it, you can be doing it for a long time. And you confront your own reflection in the mirror with as much love and compassion as you can access. And if you can't, and what there is reflecting how much you dislike yourself and how disappointed you are in yourself, you get to really look at that without anybody else's voices in the space for you to get confused about what's you and what's them. And then you get to take radical responsibility for shifting from the self-sabotaging negative talk to more self-loving, positive, affirming, compassionate, patient, peaceful, kind. And you get to become your own ideal parent, holding and healing your inner child, who may very well be traumatized. And if you take your mature, compassionate attention and you put it on your wounded inner child or your wounded inner teenager, and you give it the kind of compassionate space, non-judgmental, non-critical, but just like, wow, you poor thing, that you've been walking around with this belief about yourself or belief about the world. And you start to identify the thoughts, the negative self-talk that's going on, which is a filter between you and the world that you are experiencing. So it's like the world that you see, you are looking at through these potentially hurt, jaded, cynical eyes. When there's a part of you that's aware of how beautiful and mystical and miraculous this world is. And so it's like it doesn't jive, it doesn't add up. There's a disparity between one part of your consciousness that recognizes all there is, whether it's a mountain or a flower or a baby being born or a puppy or a salamander. You know, it's like there is so much miraculous here. There is so much beauty here. And if we are walking around and we're having a terrible experience, then it suggests not that we are fundamentally flawed, that there is something inherently wrong with us. It suggests that there is a wound in our heart, a block in our psyche that needs to be examined and dissolved. It's no different than if you fall and you have a gash on your leg and you got all kinds of dirt and pebbles and rocks in it. You have to clean it out. In order for it to heal properly, you have to clean it out. So we have to clean out the junk inside of our minds that is coloring our experience of living, which to me really should be magnificent, sublime, magical. So yes, it requires work, and it is painstaking and tedious. It can be. But when you start to get the hang of it and you develop your own sort of process to identify and ferret out the negative core beliefs that are undermining your experience, it starts to become really exciting, because you're no longer beating yourself up. You're no longer berating yourself for it and lamenting, how messed up you are, but you're excited to have the tools to be able to upgrade your own psyche. And it is no different than changing software in a computer. You take out the corrupted program and you install the new program. And for me, one of the ways that I will often do it is if I identify a negative core belief that I have about myself or somebody else or life in general, and I discover what that adjective is, I will look it up to get the definition of it, to see if it is fully comprehensive to what that feeling is inside me that is causing me pain. And then I might look at some synonyms for it, because I might actually discover that I'm carrying a lot of different versions of that same self-sabotaging talk. And then I will look up the antonym, and I will discover what the opposite of that is. So I have a place to go to. And some of those adjectives may be beyond my ability. So, like, in other words, not that long ago, I identified, now what is it now? It was something to do with being very disappointed in myself. I wish I could remember, but I can't. And in that moment, I couldn't jump to I love myself without it being, they talk about spiritual bypassing, where you just like affirm love and light, and that's it. And there's something that doesn't feel right because there's all this unhealed turmoil underneath as you're like trying to project this love and light on top of it. But what I was able to say, to move from I disappoint myself to I bless myself. I bless myself. I couldn't quite get to I love, although in this moment I feel like I can, but in that moment I couldn't quite authentically get to I love myself. But I was able to shift to I bless myself, which is full of compassion. And compassion is also full of love. So it was sort of a way for me to start moving out of that, like continuing to stab myself. And we, with our I am power, if we say, I am terrible, then it's kind of like we're constantly stabbing ourselves. I'm unworthy. I'm a bad person. I'm a loser. I'm a whatever it is. It's like if that tape is running in the background, it's like we are constantly hurting ourselves. And we have to, in order to put a stop to it, we have to identify it and go, oh my God, that's what I've been doing. Unconsciously, subconsciously, I've been berating myself over and over and over and over again. And then I wonder why I have the experiences and why I have the results that I have. But if this is a healing journey and our ultimate goal and intention is to get to love ourselves and celebrate ourselves so that we actually have a delightful experience of being alive, and we're not like living each day wishing it were over already, then doing the work and learning how to shift ourselves to a better feeling place, that we can begin to embody that, and we can begin to interface with existence coming from that place. So, I mean, even now, if you just want to like Like put your arms around yourself, or put your hand on your heart, or maybe one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly with your eyes open or your eyes closed, and just say, I bless myself. I bless myself. And can you feel how different your focus is when you bless yourself? Suddenly, compassion and empathy open up for everyone, because you realize that all the suffering and all the projection that goes on out in the world is a result of people's internal misery that they don't know how to get out of. So no matter how cruel someone has shown up in your experience, when you get to this place of being able to bless yourself and understand how sacred you are, and understand how far away from that you may have been operating, it's not a big step to imagine how far away that is for somebody else. And just that shift, it's like a friend of mine, described as like we're all pieces of this mandala, or like a puzzle piece, and when one piece shifts, it shifts the whole mandala. So if each of us takes personal responsibility for being the creator of our own reality, of our own experience, and understanding that it is our vibrational countenance and outlook that is drawing to us the experiences that we have, and that each and every person on this planet is actually an evolutionary ally, whether they show up as our friend, whether they show up as our enemy. They are each reflecting something about us, something that we can appreciate, or something that needs our attention that we get to make an adjustment to and heal. So this is the work. This is the work, and in my opinion, it's the most important work that we have, because the greatest contribution that we can make is to be a healed vessel. Because when we're unhealed, then we're spewing a lot of toxic pain out into the world, and oftentimes blaming others for it. And that is not productive. It's not serving. So, as I said last time, I have been not hiding, but consciously choosing to spend most of my time in my own laboratory, shedding these layers of wounds and toxic programming, in order to be a clear vessel filled with light and love and compassion, and heal all the parts of me that have hated and been bitter and resentful and cynical, as though like my lot in life, that I've been dealt a bad hand. And there really are no bad hands. There's simply grand challenges and opportunities for our souls to overcome if we so choose. You know, they say life gives you lemons, make lemonade. And so it's like, okay, this is the hand I was dealt. What can I do with this to have my life feel like a masterpiece, to have it all sort of add up and make sense in such a way that I ultimately feel good and I feel grateful for this challenging role that I was cast in, you know, and get to a place where I wouldn't rather be anybody else. And that's what I want for all of you. To not be jealous of anyone, not be resentful, just grateful that you get to be you. And that's what the world needs, is you being you. Because if our Creator did not have a specific purpose for you, you would not be who you are. Let's see where we're at. 6:51. We got 9 minutes left. Does anybody want to say anything? Anybody want to come on? Anyone want to post any comments, any feedback, what the experience is like for you, what you're getting out of it, if you have any questions or insights, curiosities? You're here to celebrate you. Your voice, your insights, your thoughts, your experience all matter. See what else I might be able to. Here's one. I actually thought I was going to do this before when I had David and Kim on, because they're all about creating community, and this one is called Wake Up My Children. Clawing my way through cellophane realities, desperate to reach the truth. Much of this world has lost its sanity. How do we save our youth? God gave us life and love and paradise to share in harmony. When did we start to charge each other for what has been given free? Wake up, my children, reclaim your Eden, take back your liberty. Heirs to the kingdom, see where you come from, know your divinity. We are free, 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 we are free. We are free, 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 we are free. Dreaming of new utopian communities where we can live as one. Cooperation, all in unity, Spirit, thy will be done, 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 will be done. We are free, 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 we are free. Turn your attention back to Mother Earth, ask her to show the way. Silent surrender to your own rebirth. Listen to what she say, 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 what she say. Namaste, 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 namaste. Wake up, my children, reclaim your Eden, take back your liberty. Heirs to the kingdom, see where you come from, know your divinity. We are free, 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 we are free. We are free, 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 we are free. We'll be done, 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 we'll be done. What she say, 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 what she say. Namaste, 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 namaste. We are here to inspire and empower one another to wake up and claim our divinity, our birthright as royal, majestic children, offspring of the Supreme Creator. A consciousness so far beyond anything we could ever comprehend in these physical forms, but one which loves and adores us, and whose great joy it is to give us this kingdom, this queendom, this playground of delights that we have been squandering and unappreciating. It's time for us to be the stewards of this great planet that we're on, this magical space. And it's my pleasure to be here with you and to keep showing up my own divine light and evoking your divine light and encouraging you and telling you that it's time for you to shine. And any which way that you would like to participate and support this endeavor, I would be most grateful. And I welcome your thoughts, I welcome your ideas, I welcome your inspirations, and any which way that I can support you, whether it's here on this live broadcast, or if you would like to have some private one-on-one time with me via Zoom or Facebook Messenger, I am happy to be of service to you in that way. And if you are so inspired to make some sort of contribution, I have all sorts of apps available where you can do that. That is in the description of this event, and I can provide it to you again. And this is me sort of out of my own comfort zone as it relates to my ultimate understanding of my purpose in relationship to monetary distribution, and whether that is intended to continue and is a good tool, as Geo is talking with me about right now. If you were here last week, I spent a lot of time talking to this amazing man who is very entrepreneurial minded, and whose thing it is to support people with spiritual messages to bring forth as to how to monetize in this dimension. So if that's supposed to happen, then I open to receive all of it, all I need in order to have the biggest reach possible. And if I don't need it, then I shall continue in my humble way and trust that whoever is meant to hear me is going to hear me and receive these pearls coming from Source through this vessel to you. So let me check on the time. It is 6:58. I'm going to just stay on here for another 2 minutes just because this 527 has meaning for me, and it's good to be here. I get energized from sharing with you. So I wish you a beautiful week, and when I promote next week's Tuesday, I hope that you will share it on your pages and tag your people, and we can grow this community. And if you want to post your email address here or private message to me so that I can create a list, so if we move to another platform, I will have somebody help me gather all those things, and we'll go from there. So. I don't know if we ever got Cheryl back. I hope so. Anyway, I'm going to reach out to her when we're done and see if I can help her get on next time. So enjoy each precious breath and each sacred moment of your divine existence. I invite you to live in that state of reverence and watch your experience transform. Infinite blessings. Namaste.